What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Today is Monday, so that means Ego Mail Mondays. And I must say, you guys are getting great with the questions. You guys are asking me some really good stuff, really putting me on the spot with some of the questions, but I will do my best to try to answer them and give you clear, concise answers. So let's get right into it. So the first question is from Boxman. I've been meaning to answer this question, so here it goes. Ego, after all that Manny Pacquiao has accomplished in his boxing career, do you think the reason he is still boxing because he is in hope to get the fight with Floyd Mayweather before he retires? If not, what do you think is his current goal? Or what do you think he is trying to accomplish before he retires, since he has already done so much in boxing? Thanks. Um, I think Pacquiao does want the fight, especially at this point of his career. So I don't think he's holding on solely to the fact that he could fight Mayweather, but I think he's just trying to put the final touches on his legacy and just do great things in boxing. I think Pacquiao is a true warrior, and he's just looking to finalize and, you know what I mean? Like I said, put those finishing touches on his resume, on his legacy, so people can remember him. And also, I don't think Pacquiao's made some of the best moves from a business perspective, so the money doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? I don't think he's in a position where he could retire and never have to worry about anything. I don't know that for a fact. This is my personal opinion, but I think based on some of his business choices, not having Pacquiao promotions or doing certain business endeavors, I think the money, having the money and getting paid. I'm not saying he's fighting just for money. There's a lot of guys that I would say more of a Sugar Shane Mosley. I think he was fighting. He had a nasty divorce. And I think Mosley got to a point where he was fighting more or less to get the paychecks. So if you watch the Mosley versus Canelo fight, Canelo, I think, might have got a mil, and Mosley got like 700,000. So to me, I don't think Pacquiao's necessarily fighting solely from the money, but he's not complaining about the money either. So personally, I think he's in a position where the money does help, and he's looking to get it. Next question. Ego, my question is this, and is strictly hypothetical, but let's say for some reason Chris Algieri beats Manny. Is there an outcry if Floyd fights him in May, and would you be okay with that fight? Tough question. It really just depends on how the actual fight unfolds. If Pacquiao, it can't be like a Pacquiao Bradley, the first fight where there was a lot of controversy, and depending on who you ask, they say this person won or that person won. But if Chris Algieri does his thing, completely outboxes him, then it is what it is. My complaint with the Algieri Pacquiao fight is the timing. I think coming off a split decision win over Ruslan at 140, this is not a fight that the public requested per se. I think I would have liked it if Chris Algieri did a little bit more at 140, fought a top guy, fought a Adrian Broner, and had more of a decisive win where there's no arguing who won, and then possibly fight Pacquiao in the future. But if he were, that's not how things played out. So if he's fighting Pacquiao and he defeats a legendary fighter like Pacquiao, then there really shouldn't be an outcry by defeating a guy that Timothy Bradley wasn't able to convincingly beat in some fans' mind, a guy that Marquez has beat but he's also lost to. If Algieri does his thing and looks good in there, then he moved himself up the pound for pound list by defeating a legend. So there shouldn't be really much of an outcry, because it's all about fighters fighting the right fights and proving themselves. Just like Sergey Kovalev, you could say, oh, he ain't fought nobody, he fought bums, he ain't fought no one, who's cleverly, but he just beat Bernard Hopkins, someone we know and consider as a skilled fighter and a legend, and he dominated. So if Algieri can do that with his fight and look good against Pacquiao, no controversy, beat him all the way, then if Mayweather chose Algieri, then there's really nothing anyone could say. And I don't think Algieri is signed to Top Rank, so there really wouldn't be any hang-ups making that fight. There's no, Bob Arum doesn't have to be involved to my knowledge. Could be wrong, but I don't think Algieri is managed by Top Rank even. So he could work with Mayweather Promotions. Is that the fight I want to see? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. If, like I said, it's all about working yourself and getting that spot. Next question is from Matt. What do you think about a fight with Deontay Wilder and Wladimir Klitschko? Do you see serious money in that fight? And who do you think would win? My money would be on Klitschko. He's done more. He's proven more. But it is an intriguing fight. And Deontay Wilder, I actually posed this question, which is funny, the other day on my Instagram, and spoke to Deontay Wilder. This is his response. I'll give you guys some time to kind of read it as well. You can pause the video, I guess, if you want to read it. It's a good fight. It's a good fight because Wladimir Klitschko he's been dominant for so long. People want to see him in with the live dog, someone they consider a real true threat. And a lot of it's I can't blame Klitschko for the heavyweight division stinking it up and not having the same bright faces and stars like the 80s or the 90s or whatnot. It's not his fault who's in the division, and he's not going to drop down to featherweight because there's no competition. You know what I mean? He's not going to drop down to cruiserweight because there's no competition. That just, it's not realistic. He's a big guy, 6'6", 6'7", or whatever. So he doesn't really have, what else can he do? He can't move up to, there is no higher weight division. You know what I'm saying? So I can't blame him, but I have to take that into consideration. And the heavyweight division for some years has been pretty dry. So people want to see that. And then I think a guy like Deontay Wilder, he's pretty unproven. He has impressive win, knocked out all his opponent. But the thing I like about the fight is it's intriguing because for the first time in a while, we'd be seeing Klitschko in against a guy who can match him in certain departments. Like he's a powerful dude, Deontay Wilder. He's 6'6", 6'7". I think he might even be an inch taller than Klitschko. I think Klitschko is 6'6" and Deontay Wilder is 6'7", if I'm not mistaken, without looking it up. So for the first time, you're in against an athletic puncher who is maybe a inch taller than you, as opposed to these guys that are 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", 6'4", even fighting Klitschko, because they're already at a reach length disadvantage, maybe even a power disadvantage. So Deontay Wilder could make it very interesting because he has the power and the athleticism and good speed. So if he connects right, it could be an issue of who lands the biggest shot first. Because the Klitschko, there's a lot of hype saying that his chin isn't the best. And at heavyweight, it's to be expected. You're getting cracked by a dude that weighs 230, 250. I mean, one punch, it's not even about having the bad chin. It's just you're getting hit by a big-ass grown man. And we know Wilder has power. So the safe bet, I would take the safe bet with Klitschko because he's proven more and he's been on that grand stage and beat the David Hayes, other guys who can punch. But it would definitely be a fight I would like to see, and it would definitely be interesting for the reasons I gave, because Deontay Wilder can match him with the reach, with the size. He's a powerful dude. So I would like to see that. I would like to see a fight like that. But I would lean towards Klitschko based on what I've seen and because I've seen him up against different caliber fighters versus Wilder's resume is a bit softer than Klitschko's. Next question. What fighters in any decade do you see would have given Floyd problems in a fight? That's a real good question. Personally, I would have to say Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy the Hitman Hearns. Who else? And even Chavez Sr. Now, I'll break down why I feel that way. As far as Sugar Ray Leonard, just because he did a lot of things right. He had speed, he had good footwork, and he's intelligent. So having all of those factors is definitely a plus against a guy like Floyd Mayweather, who we know he can adapt, he can adjust, he can think. Sugar Ray Leonard was a well-rounded fighter, and he had pop, he had the movement, he had the flash, he had the pizzazz. You've seen the rematch with Duran, how Sugar Ray looked in that particular fight. He's a guy with strong-willed, and he did a lot of things right. So to me, he was a complete fighter, and I think he's naturally a bit bigger than Floyd Mayweather. So that would be an interesting fight. I think Ray Leonard could definitely pose problems for Floyd Mayweather. And then also Tommy the Hitman Hearns. That size and that power and his ability to box, his background, you know what I mean, in Detroit, is just gritty. Everything about Tommy the Hitman Hearns is a problem. He's tough. He's a warrior. You know what I mean? He had a chin and he could crack. So I think the height and those types of things would pose tons of problems for Floyd Mayweather based on that, just because he's a tough guy who can crack and he has that supreme height advantage. Floyd has long arms, but I don't know off the top of my head Tommy Hearns' reach, but I know he's tall, so he probably beats him in the reach department if I would speculate. And then Chavez Sr., I would say just because similar things. Not as defensive-minded as a Floyd Mayweather, but he's a volume guy. And a lot of fighters who have showed that, and let's not get it twisted, Chavez Sr. has a great chin, even though he lost to people like Costa Tszyu. I think Chavez Sr., he just has a style. And you've seen what happened in the Roger Mayweather fight. And I've even seen Roger Mayweather interviews where he was like, damn, I was whipping Chavez's ass. And then I was like, this motherfucker's still here. He keeps coming. He's like, I'm like, damn. And then he ended up quitting on the stool or whatever. So Roger Mayweather is living proof that this man would not stop. Like you have to really physically do like Costa Zeus did to him or whatnot, and literally stop him. Otherwise, he has the heart the size of Mexico, and he's gonna keep coming, keep coming, and keep coming. So that constant pressure, the fact that he has a chin, and he's a volume guy, he has power. That would be interesting, just because he has that warrior spirit, and he's a good fighter. So I'd be interested to see something like that with Floyd, just to see how he deals with someone who's aggressive and will not give up. So I think those are three solid opponents from previous decades that would all give Floyd problems, possibly beat Floyd Mayweather.